Yo, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning into this one. In this video, we're going to take a look at Marvel's most dangerous killers, or at least ones that I have Marvel Legends figures of. Yeah, it's also in lieu of hype of the Bullseye and Muse 2-pack figure that recently came out. I decided to put this together and make a quick display, along with some other villains in league with these guys when it comes to killing. First up, you've got Benjamin Poindexter, aka the Bullseye. He's one of Marvel's deadliest assassins, as he almost never misses his shot. Whether it's knives, pencils, or basically anything he can throw as a projectile. And he's also a master at close quarter combat. Now, Daredevil is his very known arch enemy in the comic verse, and is also in the recent Daredevil Born Again show, which actually is a softer version of himself, as he was a ruthless assassin that killed for fun in the comics. I missed out on the previous releases of the Bullseye, but then when Hasbro announced this earlier this year, or I think late last year, I forgot, but it was recently released, and I finally got him in my displays. At first, didn't like it, but this is a classic one to have, and good to have with the Daredevil display. The Muse is a relatively new character in the Marvel Universe, but is also one of the most unpredictable serial killers. Muse's signature is to brutally killing his victims and making art out of their blood and their remains. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, his abilities is also unpredictable and not really well explained. But he can hide his presence pretty well from Daredevil, making it hard for him to be tracked down, and that's how he kind of gets away with all of his killings. I would say the MCU portrayed him pretty well, especially in the Born Again show. It's pretty awesome that Hasbro decided to release this figure, and is a very good staple to have in your Daredevil displays. Next, we've got William Russo, aka Jigsaw. He was portrayed a little differently in the comics versus the MCU. But one thing they do have in common is that they were both responsible for Frank Castle's family massacre. And that's where Punisher was pretty much born. Fueled with revenge, he comes after William Russo, or before he was Jigsaw, and slams his face into the window with broken glass, disfiguring his face, hence the name Jigsaw. Now, this figure came out. I initially didn't get it. It's crazy to think the amount of accessories that it comes with, seeing that this released a few years back in comparison to what they have nowadays. But anyways, I digress. This figure is pretty dope and another staple to have in your Punisher displays. Daken, aka Wolverine's son, isn't what Logan hoped he would turn out to be. He's got no regard for human lives and kills pretty much on the whim. He killed his own mother out of hatred of his father, and pretty much what drives his anger. Call this guy Wolverine 2.0, if you will, and he's much better than his father in almost all his abilities. Like, he can heal faster, moves faster, has way more claws, and he can actually also control people's pheromones, making it easy for him to manipulate people into doing things for him. I was kind of surprised that Hasbro re-released him, but a welcome addition to the Dark Avengers display. I got a video on that actually I came out with last year. Last but not least, from the Spider-Verse, the most violent and dangerous one of them all, Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, who's actually a serial killer before the symbiote got to him. Carnage is a spawn from Venom, and pretty much took over Cletus Cassidy and just became a killing machine. Especially when him and Venom teamed up at some points. It's pretty much bad news for Spider-Man. Now, originally, I wanted the retro card back figure because it had the extra accessories, but this one looked a lot more sinister and had better articulation. I'm pretty sure there are more villains out there in the Marvel Universe, and the list goes on. A couple runner-ups that I would have wanted that I don't have the figure for is Arcade from the Spider-Verse. He's an assassin that uses kind of games to kill these people. Then we got Purple Man, aka Kilgrave. I believe the last time his figure release was maybe over 10 years ago in an SDCC 5-pack of some sort, but yeah, he's also up there in serial killings. And we got Sabretooth, who isn't really a serial killer, but he does kill people that get in his way when it comes to Logan. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Anybody I missed, or anybody that you think is worse than these guys. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.